WVUA-FM, Tuscaloosa.
What is up, everyone? This is the student section with your host, Clay Pruitt.
Elliot Scully.
And Cason Smith.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to recap for week number 3. How do y'all feel? Did anybody's brackets get busted, so to speak? Anybody's fantasy in the tank?
Well, actually, I got my
bad.
first fantasy win. First 2 weeks, I was lowest scoring in the league. This third week, I pulled a win.
Same, bro.
Under 2 points.
Same. That's literally me.
I mean, I think I'm doing pretty good. I got around 5 leagues. So I think
have 5
yeah,
leagues?
I went 3-2 in my leagues. I know one of them's just a rebuilding dynasty where my entire team is just rookies. So of course I lost that, but
Five leagues
feeling pretty
is
good.
insane.
It's a lot of fun, man. You know, I live for this.
Yeah, because you always win something.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good point. If you join 5 leagues, you're bound to win at least one of them.
I mean, a lot of people do fantasy, but I like dynasty just because, you know, even if your team sucks, you know, you're not out of it, so you can look forward to the picks next week, and then it makes you want to watch college football a little bit more. So like
that's a good point, because then you can watch college and get your next
I watch like Bijan Robinson just go crazy, like, all right, I might actually get that dude to my team next year. He's in the NFL.
True. Well, speaking of young guys, should Kenny Pickett be starting at the Steelers?
Not yet.
No?
Mitch is still a guy. He's got the experience. Granted, he didn't have the best resume for the Bears, but you saw Mike Tomlin's interview. He said they were very transparent with the quarterbacks and with everyone else. Mitch has the experience. Mitch has the resume. Mitch can win, so they're going to go with Mitch until it doesn't make sense anymore, which I think is completely the right pick.
I mean, I think I gotta disagree with that. I mean, I would totally respect that because Mitch, you know, like he showed that he can be pretty good. But I mean, I saw a bunch of film on Twitter the other day of because George Pickens was noticeably mad on the field against the Browns, and I just saw a bunch of film where he is missing wide open guys 20 yards downfield, just going for checkdowns. So I think he can be good. He really needs to take that confident step and just look for those guys downfield and stop playing super conservative and just kind of be a little bit more aggressive. And I think he could really be a winning quarterback for the Steelers.
I think you should start Pickett. I don't trust Mitch at all.
Oh yeah, start Pickett for sure.
His
but
resume
Mitch
is
close.
not that impressive. He has some promise if you didn't draft Kenny Pickett. I think if you did not draft him, then you definitely start Mitch as like a filler quarterback, because obviously he's not taking him to the Super Bowl yet. You never know. You never know.
It's the
I mean,
NFL,
look
sure.
at Nick Foles. Nobody thought he was going to win the Super Bowl for the Eagles, but he did. So, speaking of winning Super Bowls for the Eagles, you think Jalen Hurts is going to win? That performance was just immaculate, dog.
It was good. But I don't know. The Eagles, they're a very good team right now. I don't know if I put them at 1 in the league, like I think CBS did, or maybe it was ESPN. One of the two put Eagles at 1. I don't know if I'd do that. They're a very good team. I'm sure they'll make the playoffs. I'm sure, they'll make a divisional round at least, but I don't know that I would go so far as Super Bowl winners yet.
Was that number 1 in the league or number 1 in the NFC?
League,
Yeah, for
Okay.
like power rankings.
What do you think about NFC wise? Do you think
Still
they're the
the
number
Bucks.
1 team? You
Still
think the Bucks? Okay, I can definitely see that, because even though they lost to the Packers, Brady was missing his top 3 receivers. Aaron Rodgers was not.
And his whole offensive line, he's got like 3 injuries there. People will say, well, Rodgers missed receivers too. Difference is, Brady's receivers are coming back later in the year. Rodgers has got what he's got. You've got to make it work. Brady's missing his top 3 guys. I mean, people don't understand how hard it is to win NFL games when you don't have your top 3 best receivers.
Oh yeah, I mean that's 100% true.
I mean, Shirley came to a test as a Titans fan where AJ and Julio were just out all of last year, pretty much. We had Nick Westbrook-Akine, which none of y'all know who that is.
No, I have
It
no
was
idea.
a wide receiver 2 by yards on the year. Wide receiver 1 for like about 6 or 7 games.
I have an idea. Okay. If I was in the NFL and I were the Bucks, and I would probably try and make a trade with Seattle and say, all right, look, you guys are booty cheek dumpster fire garbage, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're bad. What if, for 1 year, they send DK over to the Bucks?
That's a stupid idea. The receivers are
For
all
1
coming
year.
back.
For
They'll
1
all be
year.
back in like week 6.
I mean, Evans is back next week.
Evans
Good
is back.
point.
Julio's back next week.
Yeah,
Godwin
Julio's
will
gonna
be back.
I mean,
Godwin's on like hamstring strain.
I just want to
Yeah,
see
God
Brady
forbid
connect with
that
DK,
Julio's
bro.
hamstring actually is healthy.
I just want to see Brady.
You can go
and
to
DK
Seahawks
connect.
next season. All right.
I mean, if we're talking trade destinations, I would have said the Ravens, but Rashad Bateman is playing.
No, I'm
So is
saying,
Devin
like,
Duvernay.
what if you did it to where if let's say Chris Godwin season-ending injury,
Yeah.
he'll be back next year, but they need a guy right now. What if for a year you trade DK over, and then they trade Seattle somebody over for a year?
Dude, there's no way it would never be a one-on-one
Yeah.
trade.
I
The
think that'd be
Seahawks
kind of
want,
cool
like,
though.
4 first-rounders or something that would
Yeah.
make.
But as
sense.
the
They just
Seahawks
paid him
though,
72
you're
for
you know
3
you're
years.
gonna get DK back at the end of that season. What I'm saying is you trade him over for one season,
So many
and then
tokens
once
Seahawks
that
fan.
season ends. I mean, you can do it. You can do it for any team.
Yeah.
Basically, what I'm saying is, what if in the NFL you took one player? Let's say who needs a quarterback right now?
a bunch of teams.
The Texans. We'll take the Texans.
All right.
Texans. The Texans look at the Broncos and say, "Hey, look, we want Russ. It's obvious you guys are having trouble with Russ. It's obvious, blah blah blah. We want Russ right now. We'll make a 1-year trade where Russ comes to us for 1 year, plays with us for 1 year, does well, right? But we'll give you guys so and so, like somebody
All right.
really good on the
This is
on
not
the
a good
Texans,
idea.
whatever.
We got to wrap this up.
Not a good idea. Okay.
Talk about Kawhi type
That's a great-
trade for the
Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah. Keep it rolling.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Russ, he's not looking too hot. Not looking too hot. First of all, that's just the weirdest score ever, 11-10.
Yeah.
That's
We were
an
so
incredibly
close to
weird
scoregami.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we needed 13-8. We were so close.
I know, we were very close. Yeah, Russ is not looking too hot. As a Broncos fan, I would be angry at this point.
It's week 3. You just got a new quarterback. They're in the system. Don't hit the panic button until week 9. Week 9, you can say we're screwed.
Yeah, don't hit the panic button. But I'd be a little upset, being like, "Yo, you're a Hall of Fame quarterback, and you're 2-1 right now when you should be 3-0."
Hey,
Dog.
2-1 is
2-1.
not bad.
Yeah.
Hey,
But-
I would much rather be the Broncos.
But
than the
they're a
Raiders
bad
right now.
But they're a bad 2-1 though.
Yeah, bad
They
2-1
barely
better than a
beat-
good 0-3.
They
though,
lost
like
to
the Raiders.
Seattle because of coaching. We can all say that. They lost to Seattle on coaching. They barely beat the Texans and barely beat the Niners. The Niners are 1-2. Barely beat them.
Look, this is the NFL. A win is a win. I
That's
think
a good
really
point.
No matter what.
That's a really good
These are all professionals here. You can say that about college, a bad win, but in the NFL,
Yeah.
I think a win is a win no matter what. I'm definitely not going to panic on Russ. He's proven that he can be a tier 1 QB in the league, as he was for so many years with Seattle. The Broncos just need to find themselves. I know they're finding their identity in their defense, which is amazing right now. But they just need the offense to click. And I think they'll click. I mean, Judy and Sutton are a really good wide receiving core. Melvin and Javonte are an amazing running back duo. And they just need to get some plays rolling. I mean, they just need to get some good games going. I mean, they got division play coming up. Got some tough games. So, they're gonna have to score a lot of points to win these games. And I believe in the Broncos right now. Still,
You believe in the Broncos?
I believe in the Broncos. I think they're a lock for the wild card in the AFC.
I love Russell Wilson.
A lock for a wild card.
A Drew Lock. I'm just kidding. I'm just
I don't know
kidding.
about a lot.
I'm just kidding. I'm not even gonna talk about Drew Lock. He is. It's interesting that you say that you're not. I'm not gonna say you're very high on the Broncos, but you have high expectations to make the playoffs and be in the wild card spot.
Roster's too good not to. I mean, honestly, you can talk about coaching, how it could be better, but it's only week 3. They're 2-1. They could very easily be 0-3. This is a much better spot than what I'll say the Raiders are right now, where they're a good team playing horrible.
That's a
horrible
great
coaching.
point. Do you think Devontae? Do you think he's like, man, I miss the Packers?
I mean, with all that money, I wouldn't care. I mean,
I mean, that's a great point.
he's making like what, 35
That's a great
million,
point.
like 33, 35 million a year. I mean, he's had his time with the Packers. He's 29 now. You kind of start to think, I'm on the back end. Does winning matter as much, or is getting this bag matter?
I think he's doing what Julio did, because once Julio left the Falcons, he's like, "Bro, I'm just trying to get money. That's all. I'm
Titans
doing."
gave him that money.
Exactly. And the Bucks, I mean, they paid him too.
Yeah.
They paid Cole Beasley too. And I mean, he didn't do that bad. He didn't do that bad. Okay.
I don't know if you
I
watched.
mean, hey, speaking of the Titans, though, Titans got that win over the Raiders.
Dude, that was unexpected.
It made me happy, made me smile. So
It makes you smile right now, bro,
It
ear to
does.
ear.
I know. It was really good to see them put together at least one good half of football. They played horrible in the second, but the first was awesome. Of course, there was you have to have a bad Ryan Tannehill interception. We got that. But Derek didn't look like he was washed, which was really good because this was supposed to be a really good Raiders defense. And it was as a Titans fan and as a football fan who loves to watch good running backs, because we don't have a lot of those compared to how it was about 15 years ago. It was nice to see that he does not look like he's run out of juice just yet.
Another interesting note, you want to see how little the preseason matters. The Raiders were the only 4-0 team in football in the preseason. Now they're the only 0-3 team. So
Haven't the Raiders not lost a preseason game? Or sorry, the Ravens. Haven't
Yeah,
they
it's
not
the
lost a
Ravens.
preseason game?
Yeah. They
Since
got
like
that streak.
2015.
It's incredible.
yeah, kind of.
I mean, they played a win.
They haven't won a Super Bowl since 2015 either. So
That's another good point, because like that also proves the preseason doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's just a showcase for like, hey, this is the up and coming talent, or this is who we have as backups. That's all it really is.
I mean, yeah, I love seeing like go for the win, but I think it takes you to recognize that it doesn't matter at all, and you're really just
Yeah.
going out there to like get different guys different looks.
Yeah, also, Tyler Huntley's a very respectable quarterback, especially being just a little Diet Coke Lamar Jackson.
Diet Coke Lamar Jackson. He's not bad, but what are you showing me
I'm showing you what we should talk about. I think we should talk about this Jaguars Chargers game. 38-10.
there? Yeah. Yeah. Jags, bro, they popped off.
I'm on a roll.
Trevor Lawrence. There's a guy that traded him for Trevor Lawrence in my fantasy league. He traded Russ and Allen Robinson for Trevor Lawrence.
I kind of like it.
He really thinks Trevor Lawrence is gonna pop off. I hope he does, because I have Christian Kirk, and that's his wide receiver number one. So
Well,
it's
they
good
just
points.
came off a 24-0 win over the Colts last week and
Yeah.
38-10 this week. Or two pretty solid teams. That's
Oh, yeah.
impressive.
It speaks a lot on Doug Peterson, how he's doing so far.
Oh, for sure.
Adam just gave me a pointer. So he knows. He's been rating on Doug Peterson. He's been amazing for the Jags so far. It's kind of scary being a Titans right now. The Jags might actually be good this year.
I hope they are, because my uncle, he lived in Jacksonville for a while, and he got one of the original stadium cups from their first season in the NFL. It's super cool, but yeah, I really like the Jags. If I wasn't a Seahawks fan, I'd probably be a Jaguars fan, just because
You're a bandwagon?
yeah,
All right.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. I'm a bandwagon guy.
I mean, what do we think about the Chargers, though? I mean, I know that I mean, I'm not really worried about them as much because they did have a bunch
was
of
injured.
Yeah, they had a bunch of
Herbert was injured.
major injuries on both sides of the ball. So,
We'll be all right.
yeah, I mean,
It's week 3. That's, you
It's
know.
the Jags.
it's the Jags. I mean,
The
hey,
defense.
I think the Jags
It's
are a very
alright.
respectable team as of right this second.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, but their defense hasn't really proved anything to me.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think shutting out the Colts it says a lot for that. But we'll see. They still got a pretty decent schedule, so I gotta see how they do in division play. So.
Very true. I mean, there's still a lot of football to be played, so we'll see how they do. But how about? I mean, okay. The Rams have not been impressive for me this season at all. I was very high on the Rams going into it, but
You're a big fan.
no. Well, I mean, bro, they're the Super Bowl winning team.
I understand.
And
They
I
have
feel like
Aaron
almost got
Donald on
that.
defense, the best
Yeah.
defensive tackle to ever play the game on defense. They had Von Miller. They lost him.
Yeah.
So
They also got Bobby Wagner to replace him.
that's exactly what I was going to say. They have Bobby Wagner to replace him. And Bobby, even though he's regressed, he's still a top 10 linebacker in the league. So,
I mean, they replaced Robert Woods that didn't even play in the Super Bowl
Yeah.
with an Allen Robinson. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like it's like you would think that they would like. I mean, we all get the Super Bowl hangover, whether you want to believe it or not. Like a team isn't as fired up anymore. But I think I'm not going to give up on this team. Do I think they're a Super Bowl team? I do not. But I think that they are going to be a high seed in the playoffs. So,
I think they win the NFC West. I really do.
Yeah,
But I don't think they're going back to the Super Bowl. I think Jalen Hurts is probably going to lead the Eagles to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I think so.
hey, I thought it was outlandish to say it at first. I think if I were to predict the number one seed in the NFC, I'm taking the Eagles right now. Do I think that they have enough to really get over the hump and like beat the Bucks, the Packers, the Rams in a playoff game? I do not know yet, but they look pretty dang good.
Oh, they could beat the Packers 100%.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
In the playoffs?
No doubt in my mind.
You gotta be kidding.
Well, oh no, I'm not even saying in the
yes,
playoffs.
Joe.
I'm just
Yes,
saying
Joe. I will
their
say
team this year. If you look at the Packers team this year, I mean, they only scored 14 on the Bucks.
Still got a
Like,
dub.
dude, that's not impressive. Well, Tom Brady was missing 3 receivers and it's pretty much his whole line.
I mean, hey, that defense is still gnarly. So
The Bucks defense is really
Bucks
good
defense.
though.
I think Bucks defense is for real, and I think yes, we can always say 3 receivers are out. But that's football. That happens. I think we could more complain about that in the playoffs when it really matters.
No, I told you the same thing that I'm going to tell you the same thing I told him after the Seahawks.
Yeah,
It's not that I'm discounting the win. The Packers are in the win.
the situation.
But if we're looking at
Yeah.
who's the better team overall, I
Oh.
still think it goes.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the Bucks. I think it's definitely the Bucks, and by a good shot. But we got to see how they're when they're fully healthy.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to see Godwin and Evans back on the field.
For sure. You think Evans is going to come back and he's going to be better?
I
Or
hope
worse?
so. I got him in fantasy. I need him to be.
He wasn't injured. He was just suspended.
Yeah, suspended.
For the
Suspended 3 games.
Saints.
Yeah, but I mean, like, do you think when he comes back, do you think he will learn from what he did and not do it again, or do you think he'll learn to manage his temper? Yeah, I guess is what I should have asked.
I don't know if it matters, honestly.
Really? I think
I didn't
temper
mind
really
it. I didn't think it
matters.
deserved a suspension personally. But
Yeah, I thought it was kind of soft.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't really get that many wide receiver cornerback rivalries, just like that. And
I don't think he should have gotten suspended at all. Because, like, I mean, if you're going to talk bad to the quarterback and start yapping at him, you got to expect something to happen.
Yeah.
But considering he did get it, I don't know if he's just going to go around hitting people anymore.
He's
Or,
a really nice guy.
You know. Yeah.
I think it was just that guy specifically that he had a
Okay,
problem with
that makes
Lattimore.
sense. Was it Marshawn Lattimore?
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, he gets in fights with everybody.
Dude, Evans and Lattimore truly hate each other, and it is awesome. I think we need more of that in the NFL because it's like
I completely agree.
everybody loves each other, and like
Oh yeah.
like we want those guys that are like, all right, I want to kill you on the field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I mean, I think Ramsey always has that with any wide receiver who feels like it. But
Oh yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for the NFL Week 3 recap. Next up, we'll talk about quarterbacks.
WVUA-FM, Tuscaloosa.
We are back with the student section with my co-hosts,
Adam Baranovsky.
Cason Smith.
and I'm Clay Pruitt. We have a new segment that Cason has recommended we do. What is it called?
So we're gonna talk about QBs, and do y'all want to do hold as well?
Sure.
All right,
Yeah.
So let's go
yeah.
buy, sell, or hold. So let's talk about QBs, how we're feeling on them. So it's
I will
week
say
3,
this.
still early.
For the hold, don't like say hold like a lot.
Oh yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
See-
it's just literally one guy that I would hold. That's,
Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy G, I'm gonna hold.
Yeah.
So let's get the hold out of the way.
So who you want to start off with?
let's go to it. Talk about Loa.
Oh, dude, I'm keeping that man. I'm high on him.
So you buying?
I'm buying, bro. I'm throwing all my money at him. I'm paying him more than Lamar Jackson. No, not really. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Not really. Lamar Jackson's obviously a better quarterback.
Yeah.
But he's just a running back, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
You can't throw the ball, but led the league in passing touchdowns.
I was a firm
Right.
Lamar Jackson RB1
Makes
guy
sense.
Wow.
up until like last year when he was carrying the Ravens for a bit, and then comes back this year. I still wasn't even completely sold on him, but first 3 weeks he is by far away. He should be the leading MVP candidate. He looks amazing.
Well, how do you feel about Lamar? Buy, sell, hold,
Buy and give him whatever guarantee money he wants.
selling?
whatever he wants?
Yeah.
I mean, who else are you going to pay him?
Whatever he desires. Well, you clearly have a roster for Lamar. Look how he's playing right now.
Exactly.
I'm selling my mortgage to buy this man.
I will give him any guarantee money he desires because if he leaves the Ravens, God knows what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think it's a 20. Like, how is it? 26? Yeah, 26 mobile Lamar Jackson is
25.
25. Very different from a 32 banged up Lamar Jackson. So I think the Ravens they need to keep him now
Yeah.
before it's too late. So.
Yep. Before he asks out.
Exactly.
the original quarterback that we were planning to talk to before we went on the Lamar Jackson tangent. Tua, I would for now probably like based on the first 3 weeks. If we look at the season from 3 weeks, I'm gonna buy Tua, but I'm just like. I'm a little like I'm not sold 100% yet. Yes, he's played great, and I'm really happy to see that he's playing great. His team is at the end of the day 3-0 right now, and he did just beat the Super Bowl favorite, and he played like decently well. So I'm gonna buy him for now. That could change, but based on the small sample size that we've seen, I'll buy it.
I think I do have to, as much as I would love to sell. I mean, he's second in the league for the passing with 925 yards. I think I got to buy right now. He's looking really good. Waddle and Tyreek have been amazing for him because they are the guys that will bust every coverage possible. Mm-hmm. They will get wide open looks. So I think we can kind of dog on him if we want to, but that's football. You have good wide receivers. You throw it to them, wide open or not, it's still a touchdown. So
Elliot,
I think
what do you think? Now. Are you high on Tua? Do you buy him or do you sell him? Are you not not convinced yet? Oh wow, he's not convinced. How are you not convinced? Sorry, I just have to ask you this as a Bucs fan since you've been watching Tom Brady for a while.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it's just pretty expensive. I'm not going to make any like big Super Bowl winners or MVPs or anything like that. Midway through the season, stuff. So, you're going to have a great spot to be in. He's definitely got a lot of potential, but not super high on him yet.
Understandable.
Very
understandable.
Okay.
So who do you want to do next? What about T-Law, Trevor Lawrence?
Oh man.
Oh, he's got. You guys
Can't
know
curse
my.
on the air, Phil.
Yep. You know my adoration for Doug Peterson. I think Trevor. I'm gonna buy Trevor. I'm gonna buy him all day because he has Doug Peterson. You can just see the improvements in his decision making. Also, lack of interceptions this year. He already has. How many picks do he have? Like 2, 3, compared to like last year. And like when he played, he had like 7 by now.
Yeah, he's 6 touchdowns to 1 interception.
There you go. He has 1 pick all season. That's already way better than how he played the first 2 games last year.
He had like 17 all last year.
And I think it's all Doug Peterson's system, and I think it's Doug Peterson's coaching. And I mean, he's also talented. I'm not saying he's not. He's very talented, but I just think that having Doug Peterson made him like, and a Super Bowl winning head coach like that, who developed Carson Wentz to an MVP season, having that type of a coach is really good for him, especially at that age.
I mean, I do love Doug Peterson. I think he's really, really good for the Jaguars. But there's never been a second in my mind where I wasn't bought in.
Yeah.
Even last year when he looked absolutely horrible, I'll give him the pass. Rookie season, the worst head coach in NFL history.
Absolutely.
There's a reason why he was the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. There's a reason why after his freshman year, his draft stock never lowered from the number 1 overall position. Mm-hmm. We all knew that after his freshman year. And I think he needed more around him, needed a much better situation. And from what Jaguars players and personnel have been saying is that it is miles better this year than what it was at any point last year. People were saying that this was the worst coaching they've ever seen in their careers. So I will buy Trevor Lawrence with everything. This kid is awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Okay, here's my thing on Trevor. Ever since he played at Clemson, he beat Alabama in the national championship because his receivers were wide open, and our DBs couldn't cover that year. I wasn't high on him in college. Even coming out of college, I wasn't really high on him. Great, he's a good quarterback. He has a lot of necessary skills, but I think comparing to somebody else in his class, like Mac Jones has a higher ceiling than Trevor Lawrence does. That's just me, though. I think that Trevor, he hasn't reached the top of his ceiling yet. You know what I'm saying? I guess what I'm trying to say is Trevor is a little bit farther down on reaching his ceiling. He has a lot more to go to touch his ceiling than Mac does. I feel like Mac is really close to touching his ceiling, and Trevor has a lot more potential.
All right,
does that make sense?
Are you saying that Mac doesn't have a high ceiling? If you're saying that he's really close to it, that means he doesn't really have that much of a ceiling.
I'm saying he's close and he has a high ceiling.
Well, I mean,
because when Mac Jones first came in the league, he did very well against the Patriots. He did very well for the Patriots. But when Trevor came into the season, he didn't do that well for the Jags. Mm-hmm. But I also have to consider this: his coaching was not that good. So I think I'm going to have to restructure my feelings on Trevor, because I used to think that he had a pretty decent ceiling, but he just wasn't ready to be an
All
NFL
right,
starter.
Let me ask you a question.
However, this season, I think from what he's done this season, I think he's earned the title of being an
Let me ask you
NFL
a
starter.
question. How why if his ceiling is lower than Mac's, why was he the number one player coming out of high school and Mac wasn't even a 5-star, not even close to a 5-star, and he had 4 first-round picks that he was throwing the ball to, I believe, or
I think
3?
that's just
Trevor did not. And then Trevor was coming out of high school more talented than Mac Jones. Not even just professionally. Trevor coming out of high school was way more talented than Mac.
Yeah,
if he had
that's what I'm
Mac's
saying.
score, I think Trevor probably could have broke all college football records in my opinion. That's how good he was. And he led a team. He beat probably one of the best Alabama teams roster-wise in the national championship as a freshman. And like I just think how are you not like more talented than Mac Jones if you don't do that? If you do that, like that's just like my only question for you.
I mean, like,
yeah. So
all I'm gonna
maybe
add
I
to that
didn't
is that-
explain it well.
Yeah,
Is
I'm gonna add
what
to
I'm
that.
going to have to do is restructure my feelings, because at the time I thought that Mac was better than Trevor because of that 2020 season that he had.
Yeah.
However, I think seeing Trevor in the NFL now and seeing what he's been able to do these last 3 weeks, I'm going to have to say that he is better than Mac Jones. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, all I'm going to add to that is pretty much Trevor finished in top 4 Heisman voting every single year he was in college. So
I mean, Mac did his last season.
it was last season.
Yeah.
but-
Mac also played with 4 first-round picks, about 4.
Yeah.
4 to 3. So that's why like
But you're at Alabama, so like
Yeah, that's
you
what
can't
I'm
really hold
saying.
that against him.
I mean, I'm not super high on Mac Jones,
compared to
but
what Bryce is playing, you can't really compare it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
you know,
So,
you know, what, let's. I think. I mean, we already kind of touched up on this. Russell Wilson, how y'all feeling?
oh man,
I'm
gonna be honest. I was worried coming into this, but Elliot had a great point. It's a totally new offensive system, totally new coaching, totally new players. I can definitely understand why Russ would be struggling, because he played for Seattle with the same system for how many seasons? Like 8 seasons, 7, just a long time with Seattle, and then he gets thrown into this new system. So I think Elliot would be right there.
Yeah, I agree with what Elliot said, but also you had the entire summer to prepare with your receivers. The entire summer. What were you doing all summer if you can't have chemistry right now? Like that's just my question. Like you had an entire summer to prepare with those guys. You got traded in March. Your season starts in September. What were you doing from that time that you cannot throw Jerry Jeudy a perfect spiral? Like it's just like I just don't know. Like they're lucky that they won, because I don't think Nathaniel Hackett is ready to be a head coach yet. They hired some guy. I thought that was a low-key, sneaky, like concerning hire to make. So they hired him to make in-game decisions. Isn't that the job of Nathaniel Hackett, to make in-game decisions?
Hackett stinks.
So I'm like, why are they hiring some guy to do Nathaniel Hackett's job for him? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe you should have done this like in March then when you got Russ. Like, but right now, like Eli Manning said it yesterday. I mean, he was kind of trolling. He said maybe pay your punter $245 million. Like I mean,
saw that.
I don't disagree right now. Their punter was probably the player of the game.
He was awesome.
Their punter was
He
the player
was
of the game.
electric.
Special teams was easily the players of the game, all of them, in the Broncos 49ers game. But
Yeah.
but I'm like looking at Russ and I'm like, this guy looks lost. Like you had an entire summer to prepare with these
To be
guys.
fair, when you prepare over the summer, you're throwing to wide open receivers on
That's
a route
everybody.
that you know exactly what you're doing.
That's everybody.
Yeah.
Mahomes prepares over the summer. Look how he plays. Lamar Jackson too. The same guys. Like he throws to the same people. He didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was he doing from?
What I
March
think
to
is
September?
I think he's just
when you
games.
sit with the whole team and you try and gel with an entire team, you have guys coming at you on pass rush. You have defense that shows one thing but really does another. A couple months of preparation isn't enough to build a super strong chemistry like he had with Lockett, Baldwin,
but to
and
lose,
DK.
but to lose like not lose, but to look that bad offensively when you've been known to be a really
Yeah.
good like Hall of Fame like top like 6 quarterback consistently throughout your whole career is a very very
he-
bad
he
look.
does-
He does look pitiful right now.
And they're lucky to be 2-1 in my opinion.
yeah, I think they are looking to be 2-1, but I'm still gonna buy into Russ.
I'm gonna hold on to us for now.
Well, I think I got one more that's gonna be
Yeah.
kind of spicy because I know Adam loves this guy.
Trey Lance. I'm just kidding.
Nah, Trellis, nah, even spicier. Justin Fields. I'm just gonna say what I'm just gonna say. I'm selling the crap out of him. I think every one of these QBs who we say is good has shown that they are good. Justin Fields has not shown me a single thing that says that he is good. Every QB class, I think we can all agree, has busts. Not all of them are going to be good. I think a lot of people will kind of write out Zach Wilson as a bust already. I trust Zach Wilson more than I trust Justin Fields. Justin Fields has less than 300 passing yards on the year. Cooper Rush almost has double that. And
I wish Justin Fields had CD Lamb, but continue.
That doesn't matter. He could also just be bad for the game. So I mean, he had like what, 70 passing yards against the Packers.
11 passes.
11 passes.
Not bad for 11 passes.
It's not good either.
Tom Brady had like 47. He had 47 passes and like 200 yards. But yes, all his three receivers were gone. But his Russell Gage is probably still better than any receiver.
So
I will say this
Fields,
about
though?
Justin Fields.
I'm selling.
Justin Fields, when the games that I've seen him play, I'll start off saying this. A great quarterback with bad receivers can still look good as a great quarterback. Look at Tom Brady when he played the Packers. He did not have a single wide receiver that we knew of, other than Cole Beasley, but Cole Beasley retired. I would argue otherwise. The stats that he put up
47
are
passes.
not terrible, but they're not great. They're just kind of enough to get the win. I don't think Justin Fields is good enough to even get a win, because the passes that I saw him throw, he was overthrowing, he was underthrowing. A lot of them were getting, it wasn't like the receiver ran a bad route or the receiver didn't catch the ball. It was because he threw bad balls.
But also, his offensive line is by far the worst in the league. So you can't really, like, Justin Fields is running for his life probably 3/4 of the game. And you cannot,
Understandable.
You saw Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Mahomes was running for his goddamn life. He was running. He ran a total of 498 rushing yards combined away from stats in the Super Bowl. That's an insane statistic. I didn't calculate that for Justin Fields because I obviously don't have time to do that. But yeah, I think it's mostly the offensive line. I'm not going to sell him yet. I'm going to hold Fields probably, but I'm not. I need to see more. Yeah, he hasn't been playing well, but I think it's way more than just lack of receivers.
I mean,
That's a good point,
my bold
because with
prediction-
Trevor Lawrence didn't really have that many. He didn't have a good rookie season. So, I mean, even this is not just a rookie season, but, you know, he didn't really have a good season starting out. So maybe once the Bears get more offense, maybe they'll be good. But that's all the time we have for the second segment of the show. For the third segment, we're going to do Week 4 picks. Stay tuned.
WVUA-FM, Tuscaloosa.
Student section, you're back. I'm your host, Clay Pruitt.
Elliot Scully.
Adam Baranovsky.
This is week 4 of the NFL. Monday night football, or not Monday night, sorry. Thursday night football.
That's a good one.
Dolphins and Bengals, man. Who y'all got?
Keep riding with the Dolphins train. I think they'll keep it going. Bengals haven't shown me anything that said like they wouldn't. I don't know. I don't like how the Bengals are going. I like how the Dolphins are going.
Completely agree.
I saw Tua play Sunday, and he was limited today in practice. I'm gonna take Cincy only because I don't know how Tua's gonna be, how healthy Tua's gonna be, and I think Cincy I think they kind of got a confidence game against the Jets. They played a confidence game to get their confidence back. I think they'll be fine. It's a little bit of a hot take, but I'll have Cincy winning.
Do you think that they just said we're not even going to do concussion protocol for Tua in that Bills game?
It's probably something.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I completely do as well.
That's
I think they just
horrible.
went, do you know your name? Tua all right, cool, that's close enough. Because that's how most people say his last name anyways. Because no one's going to say Tagovailoa unless you're an Alabama fan.
Yeah.
Vikings and Saints. Who y'all got? This is a tough one. This is a very
It's a
tough
tough one. It really depends because Jameis' turnovers kind of determine how the game's going to go.
When is it?
I'm just gonna go
prime
ahead.
Time? Is it prime time?
No, it's not Sunday.
Okay, so Kirk Cousins
It's not
Oh,
Sunday.
is this the London game? Yeah, it's the London game, isn't it?
Oh, it is prime time. So Kirk Cousins. Wait,
It's not
Nah,
prime
that's
time.
not prime time. Okay,
It's-
so he has
no,
a
it's
chance.
not
It's the only game on at 9:30 a.m.
Yeah.
It's not. Give me the Vikings.
I'm also going to take the Vikings just because I don't trust the Saints. And I just traded away Alvin Kamara, so I don't want him to do well.
I got the Saints. I think James will win. I think James will.
Cason, who you got? Vikings, Saints. Oh, Vikings. Alrighty. Browns and Falcons.
Browns.
Yeah.
I think this is a clear
Browns.
winner in this one. I don't even think it'll be a contest.
No, I think it'll be a contest. Falcons have shown like pretty good fight. They put up 25 plus points. They're all
27.
3 games.
They put up
all
27 on Seattle.
Yeah,
so
and
I'm
they put
like,
up 27 on LA too.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're good. They're not a bad team, the Falcons. I just don't think they're gonna beat the Browns.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna stop Nick Chubb.
Yeah. Nobody.
'Cause
looks
he
at
is like Saquon Jr.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the way I see him run,
Yeah.
he's like Saquon Jr.
I read a
Not
stat,
saying he is
yeah.
as talented, but I'm just saying like the way he runs.
I read a
reminds
stat
me
that said
of
he's
Saquon.
averaged 5 yards a carry his whole career.
Wow, that's
Pe-
impressive.
People barely average 5 yards a carry a season.
That's
He's averaging his whole career. Yeah. It's crazy.
Speaking of running backs, you think Zeke's gonna get the win over the Commanders?
Yes.
Easy.
Cooper
Really?
Rush going 4-0 career with the Cowboys.
Yep.
What
First
happens
start.
if Cooper Rush goes 4-0? Do you think they
If it
let
ain't
him
broke,
start?
don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Do you think when
Yeah.
Dak Prescott
Kinda
comes
have
back?
to. I mean, if what you got out there is working, I don't know. I would
exactly.
I'd keep him
Why would
out
you
there.
fix it? I had the same theory with Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. Why are you trading him? What's the point of that?
Good point.
I don't get it. Like he won you a Super Bowl against one of the greatest, probably the greatest quarterback ever, and you're gonna trade him now? Like
Lost your hot off the Aaron Rodgers trade?
no. I'm just saying. I said one of the greatest quarterbacks.
No, you said one of the greatest, probably the
I
greatest.
said all of the greatest.
I'm gonna probably
said
go with the
probably
Cowboys, to be
great.
honest with you, because like
Looks like
I like the Commanders. Don't get me wrong. I like them. I like their D line. But I don't think the Cowboys. I don't think their running game is what really sets them apart anymore. That's what it used to be,
Their
but not
defense
anymore.
I mean, the Giants' offense is also pitiful, but their defense was great. Their defense looked
Yeah, that is a good
fantastic.
point. Their defense did look really good against the Cowboys, and that makes me question the Cowboys' offense. But I think with CeeDee Lamb, the Redskins or the Commanders. I always say that every time I look at their logo. The Commanders, they don't have a DB. I don't know any of their DBs, so I don't think they can cover CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
I don't know any of their DBs. I'm sorry. I mean, if there's a guy that's like, oh, he's a great guy, I have no idea. Speaking of DBs, Seahawks. Because of Legion of Boom. Anyway, sorry. That was a very bad segue.
Road might.
That was you can't win them all, fellas. You can't win them all. Seahawks and Lions. I gotta go Lions.
Yeah, Lions. Give me Lions.
I
Yeah.
don't like betting against my team. However,
I love the Lions.
after watching us throw away the game against the Falcons, we should have won that game. After watching us throw it away, I'm sorry. Lions. It's no contest in my opinion. Bears and Giants. What do you guys think?
Giants. I really like Daniel Jones, honestly. If you were watching last night,
Yeah.
there were plenty of times where it was a perfect ball on the
Yeah,
receiver.
the receiver.
drop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. The receiver dropped it. It was, I think, 3 in a row where Daniel Jones put it right where it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Shepard drops one, Richard James drops one, and David Sills drops one. I'm like, that's not even Daniel Jones' fault. Like, at some point, like, I do think he's not that good, but that's just not his fault at all. Like, that's just all the receiving. I got the Giants. winning this too.
I do too.
think-
I have the Giants
yeah.
because they look pretty good.
No, not
Um,
really. Defensively, they look good, but the Bears' offense is just so bad that I think Giants are gonna light them up defensively.
Yeah, that's true too.
I do have the Giants winning this one though. I mean,
Yeah.
they look pretty good compared to last season, is what I'll say.
Yeah, they definitely look better. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
what I'll-
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
that's
they
what
definitely
I'll
look
say.
better than they did last year. Yeah, absolutely.
I missed a game. Oh no. Texans Chargers. That's the game I missed. Who do you guys feel? Texans Chargers.
Chargers. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chargers too. Despite I think a sneaky big loss is Rashawn Slater because he's out for the year for the Chargers, and that's their left tackle, one of the best young left tackles in the league. I mean, Herbert. I don't know how healthy Herbert is. I'll still take the Chargers, but I think it'll be closer than people think it is.
Elliot, I completely missed what you said. Chargers?
Yeah, I mean, I think every week that Justin Herbert's removed from that injury, the rib injury, I think he's just going to be a little bit better. Hayden's
Yeah.
going to be a little bit
Yeah.
more effective. So I like a bounce back game here.
Yeah, me too.
I would also go with the Chargers just because I think the Texans are the worst team in the league, other than Seattle. And it's a toss-up between Seattle and the Texans. I would normally say the Jets, but the Jets are actually not
Did
looking
you
too
say a
bad.
2-1 team is the worst team in the league?
The Texans?
No, the Seahawks is.
Oh, the Seahawks? Yeah, yeah. They're like
Oh, they're 1.
they're super close.
Oh.
They haven't. They're 1-2. They're not 2-1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
They should be 2-1. I'll tell you that right now. They should be.
Okay, I gotcha.
but they're not, sadly. Speaking of the worst teams in the league, this is going to be a stretch, just bear with me. Speaking of worst teams in the league, the Jags have improved from being the worst team in the league to being a pretty good team. Who do you think is going to win that matchup between the Jaguars and the Eagles?
Still Eagles.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
I think Philly's winning. Yeah, I don't think.
You think the Jags put up a fight though?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. I think. Yeah, I think Doug Peterson's also gonna be motivated against the Eagles. I just think he's that type of coach. He's gonna figure out, because he also knows kind of a lot of players that were there at that time when he was coach are still there. So I think he's gonna know a little bit of secrets, but I don't think it's enough.
I would agree. I think that the Jags definitely do show a little bit of life. I don't think they're gonna beat the Eagles. I think Jalen Hurts is popping off too hard.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's pretty easy.
Do you think the Steelers are gonna have a comeback game against the Jets?
Yeah, I think they will.
Okay.
I think any week now it's gonna be Kenny Pickett time. They need a spark on offense, and how can you expect him to get better if you don't play him? Like, he has to see game action, because you can't just keep him on the sideline and say, "Oh, we're just gonna develop him." How are you gonna develop him if he's not playing?
Well, plenty of rookie quarterbacks don't see the field their first year.
True.
That's a good point.
But I just think, like, at some point, like, you got to do something different offensively, because they don't look good offensively. I'm sorry, they just don't. Like, they need to get. They have so many good weapons: Fryman, Johnson, Claypool, Pickens, and Harris. They're just like, they're not utilizing any of them the way they should be because of Mitch Trubisky. I mean, I think they're gonna win, but
So we're all picking the Steelers.
yeah, I think they'll win.
Wow.
I think if it's a blowout, Mitch is going to have the job for a while.
Good point.
If it's not a blowout, if it's close, or if they even lose,
Yeah,
I think it's probably going to enter the game at some point.
Great
I hope
point.
he does. So,
I completely agree with that.
Yeah,
That's,
that's a big one.
I agree with that too. It's a
Completely
massive game
agree
for the
with
Steelers.
if it's a good win, he secured the job.
for
I
at
agree
least
with
4 or 5 weeks.
I think that might be the first time
unless
all of
something
us
like
agree.
really bad happens.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Speaking of really good games, Bills and Ravens. That's gonna be a fantastic game in my opinion. That's the game I'm going to watch.
Yeah, is that 325?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
I think the Bills still have this. I think their defense is going to shut the Ravens offense down. I think that
Oh, it's tough.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I think that that game against the Dolphins was honestly an anomaly, and that was more so.
What?
What?
Interesting.
I just think it was. I think that
Interesting.
the Bills' offense just had an off game,
Mhm.
which happens.
Yeah.
Interesting. I can see that. I can see how it would be an off game for them.
Yeah.
I just think the Dolphins are that good though.
That's true, but you think about it, like how high scoring that Ravens Dolphins
Yes.
game was, and then their one over the Bills was so low scoring. Like the Bills' defense is that legit. They've proved there's been no question their defense is
Oh,
great.
I didn't think about that. I was thinking from an offensive perspective.
Right, and that's, what I'm saying. It's
that's
a lot
a
easier
great
to have
point.
a bad game on offense and rebound than it is to have a bad game on defense.
That's a great
I
point.
think this is going to be a shootout, because also thing is, it's hard to pick because Buffalo's already lost. Buffalo's lost Micah Hyde for the year. They just lost their second best cornerback. Third one, Tre'Davious Smith, but they lost their number 2 cornerback right now. I mean, I don't know. Their secondary could get lit up this game, but at the same time, Josh Allen could also roast the Ravens defense. So it's definitely gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be in the 30s, I think. Well, what game with Lamar Jackson's not gonna go to 30s? I think Buffalo pulls it out, but by very little.
We're all three going to pick the Bills. Honestly, I think the Dolphins just made Josh Allen very angry.
Yeah,
And he's going to come back just like Brady's going to come back from the Packers loss. I think the Packers loss made Brady very angry, and we're going to see him absolutely torch whoever he plays this week. The Chiefs. Oh no.
Oh, it's Bucks Chiefs.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll be good.
I like the Chiefs. I don't want to see him get torched by the Bucks, but I have the Bucks in this one. I really do. You gonna go Bucks?
There's one man in sports I do not bet against. You know who he is?
Tom Brady?
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. That's all I gotta say.
Interesting.
I'm gonna take the best quarterback in the league right now, Patrick Mahomes.
That is a ridiculous take.
Interesting. I do think that
He lost.
Patrick Mahomes.
He lost last week. Do you think Mahomes is happy that he lost?
No,
Yeah,
I think he's
there
going
you
to be angry too,
Oh, yeah.
which is why I'm going to pick. Oh man, this is a very tough one. I have to ask you that. Who's going to come back next week for the Bucks?
Evans and
receiving
Julio should
core.
be back. Adams will
Makes it even
definitely
harder.
back. Julio should be
I'm
back.
gonna go Bucks because I think Brady can win with
Yeah.
those two receivers. I really do.
Yep.
What about? Let's go with Cason's team. Titans, Colts. Titans. Got you.
I don't know.
It feels
the
like they
Colts,
just played though. Oh, who am I? Oh,
Colts
I'm
just
thinking, never
came
mind, I'm
off the
thinking
win
of a
against
different
the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
definitely yeah.
I don't know.
game. Oh, dude, Oh man, I forgot the Chiefs just got beat by the Colts.
Yeah, that's why. That's why. I'm
Oh
calling it,
man,
The
I'm
best
glad I
quarterback
picked
in
the
the league,
Bucks. I'm glad I picked the
according to
Bucks.
Adam, just got lit up by who was it again over in Indy? Carson Wentz.
I think he's one of.
Not Ryan, I mean.
You think Patrick Mahomes is better than Lamar
Yeah. Right now, I mean, yeah.
right now? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Just wondering. I can see that. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Dude, when
Um,
he threw that sidearm ball and his feet weren't even on the ground, and
Did you see that left-handed pass? Remember that left-handed pass?
I haven't seen it.
left hand. It was like this. It's how he threw it, like first down.
He's definitely the
Broncos.
most talented, the highest ceiling, the highest potential of any other quarterback. I'm sorry, as a career, he has the highest potential to be the LeBron James to Michael Jordan, as Mahomes is to Brady. That's what I'm gonna say. Michael Jordan and Brady are obviously the GOATs. They have 7 rings.
Rings and totals,
MJ
yeah.
is fantastic basketball player. However,
Robert Horry has 7 rings.
LeBron James is also going to be. He's also a great player. Same thing with Mahomes. Mahomes is a great player. I think he has the potential to be the number 2 in the GOAT debate. I really do.
Yeah, that's what. I mean,
So-
also. Okay, yeah. Just,
Titans, Colts. Who we got?
Colts.
Colts.
Yeah, I think the Colts beating the Chiefs was a confidence game for them. A lot. I'm gonna go Colts. Yeah.
Well, we couldn't get to every game this week, but I'll end on the Monday Night Football. Rams, 49ers.
Rams.
Okay, we're all going Rams. You heard it here first. That's all the time we have for the student section. We'll see you guys next week. I'm your host, Clay Pruitt.
Let's go.
Adam Baranovsky.
See y'all next week.
WVUA FM, Tuscaloosa.